Click the first link in the description for the best Askreddit content. Today I fucked up by forgetting to close Safari before locking my iPad. So I had recently gotten an iPad, and being a typical single college student, one of the first things I figured out is now I don't have to get out of bed to watch porn. Since nobody touched the iPad except me and it was passcode protected and nobody but me knew the code, I developed a bad habit of just pressing the lock button when I was done using it instead of first closing whatever app/browser I was using. Well, one day I decided to read some Super Smash Brothers hentai manga with Zelda and Peach and Link before bed. Did what I usually do and just pressed lock, tossed the iPad aside, and went to sleep. The next day I went for a drive with my brother and his GF. I grabbed my iPad as it had all my music on it, and after a while in the car naturally we wanted some music. As I was driving I told my brother to grab my iPad and told him the code so he could open it. Then things got eerily silent. I thought he was just picking a song until his GF asked if she could see what music I had, and before she finished speaking my brother very quickly said no. All I asked was I forgot to close it, didn't I? Yep, we have not ever spoken of it, but sometimes I wonder if he just thinks of me as being into Smash Brothers to an unhealthy level. Too long didn't read, I forgot to close the porn on my iPad and my brother saw what I was into. At least you didn't go for a ride with your mom in the back and have her choose the music. It could have been much worse. I know, and for that I am thankful. Regular porn would be embarrassing. I always close everything on my phone and no one besides me ever uses it. Lesson learned. I know exactly what comic you were talking about and must say, you have a pretty good taste in books. Today I fucked up by listening to music and not noticing someone following me home. I, 29F, was walking home after watching some movies in my brother's shared apartment. It was around 1:30 AM. It's 10 minutes walking distance from where I live. So I noticed a man, around 50 of age, crossing the streets in front of me halfway home. He notices me too and keeps looking at me, but proceeds to walk straight in front of me without looking back. I felt odd and crossed the street to take another route, so lost sight of him and didn't think much about it. I had my music on the whole time and enter my apartment building. Call for the elevator and wait for it. He comes in and starts talking to me. He said, I noticed you and just wanted to tell you how about today I fucked up you are. I thanked him and kept trying to ignore him. He then asks me if I had been to a party and what my name is and if I want to hang out with him right now. I declined and went into the elevator. He steps in between the sliding doors and asked me if I could help him out. That he is a good guy and I mustn't be afraid of him. He said, he is so lonely tonight and if I could help him out. During all this time he kept touching his crotch. I had to decline multiple times and told him to go away a few times. As I keep raising my voice, he grew afraid I'd wake the other tenants, so he finally left. But now he knows where I live. I called the police after going home and writing down the encounter. The officer told me to file charges tomorrow at business hours. Too long didn't read, I let a man follow me to my apartment building, where he asked me for a sexual favor. Edit, okay, to those who said this is not a fuck up, that it was not my fault and I need to stop victim shaming, I posted this here, not because it was a fuck up in your usual sense, but that as a reminder that everyone needs to stay vigilant. Doesn't matter where you live, how old you are or even what gender you have. I should have been aware of my surroundings and fucked up by not staying alert. And just because you are carrying a weapon does not mean you are able to use it. I couldn't with good conscience just take out a knife and start attacking just because someone came a little too close for comfort. It's an individual question whether you are okay with hurting someone else or not. If I wanted to, I'd already been carrying a weapon, so stop suggesting weapons. You can't say you fucked up about this guy is a creep. You can't always be on your guards against creeps. I should have been more aware, after already having a bad feeling about him. And the fuck up part is letting him know where I live. Just curious, what charges did they say to file? Trespassing? Dude sounds like a creep and a half. Luckily he didn't flash you or do anything else strange. Though, like, he was grabbing his crotch as a sign he wanted you to help him out with some blue balls while saying at the same time you mustn't be afraid of him. Man, some people are weird as fuck. They just told me to file a report, but they couldn't do anything about it for now anyway, so next time I see him, I could say I already reported him once and they'll write down his personalia. Not very helpful, I know. Sorry you had to experience that. I hope the police deal with it in a way that makes you feel better. I wasn't scared or anything, rather I was thinking the whole time, how many times I'd need to crush his balls until he could never get it up again. But I want to file a report, because he never even asked me for my age, and I can't even buy the lottery without showing my ID. He could be a pedophile or anything. So for potential other girls it's safer if he is known. You probably saved your life by making the noise. It sucks to say this, but music, phone, lack of paying attention, whatever distracts you from those around you can be a death sentence, especially when walking home alone, late at night. Keep your head up. Look behind you every so often while you're walking, make eye contact and stare down people staring at you, and never make a pattern for how you get from A to B. Change up your routes from time to time. I'm a 6'1" guy and I still do these things. Even though you took a different route to get home after crossing paths, that guy has probably been watching you for a while. Random is rare, intentional isn't. If you haven't already, I recommend taking some kind of martial arts or self-defense classes. Get your concealed handgun license if you're will and able to, or if that's not something you want, carry pepper gel or a knife. It's your life, keep control of it. Switzerland isn't so lax about weapons. In fact, only pepper spray is legal. They'll write you up when they see you carrying a knuckles or a jackknife. I am so sorry that happened to you. It sucks so much that as women we need to be more vigilant than our male counterparts, but it's a product of the fucked up fallen world we live in. Same, this has happened to me on the subway when I was younger. I'm now a 35-year-old mom of 2, no one except my husband wants this body. As much as we want to live in a world where we can walk down the street at 1:30 a.m. without worrying, it's just not happening. I don't want you to be scared and stop going out, and I'm sure you'll be more watchful in the future. You didn't fuck up. You survived. That's the goal in situations like this, and I hope this doesn't come across as victim blaming, because you are no way at fault for having a perfectly legal stroll while listening to music. Today I fucked up calling my daughter sweet penis. It happened this morning when my wife brought our 2-year-old daughter to me so I could give her a kiss before I headed off to work. Evidently my brain was not yet fully functioning this early in the morning. My wife and I have a number of things we like to call our daughter. Some are cliché and some are nicknames. I often call her Sweet Pea and I also often call her Sweetness. You might see where this is going. For some reason, my mind combined Sweet Pea and Sweetness into Sweet Penis. My wife and I fell over in laughter and my wife has been calling me Sweet Penis all day. She has been texting various family members throughout the day, sharing hysterical laughter with them. I will likely never live this down. Thankfully my daughter didn't parrot it back to me. My sweet penis. Too long didn't read. I called my daughter Sweet Penis because of my foggy morning brain and now my whole family is laughing about it. You should write that on a birthday cake when she's older. It'll be a good laugh between you and your wife. Or, good story. My wife and I usually will sign off from a phone conversation by saying something about love or love ya. So, one day while finishing up a technical conversation with one of my good friends / co-worker, I was in another place and ended the call with a goodbye usually meant for my wife. Well, like you, it is now part of a running joke with my wife and my friend, not so much now, but still on occasion he will ask if I still love him. Hilarious. I did something similar. I'll always be there for you turned into I'll never be there for you. My daughter quotes it from time to time, we both laugh. This made me laugh so hard for like 5 minutes straight. I had to keep putting my phone down to laugh before I could even read the next sentence because I couldn't breathe. Jeez. On vacation when she was 11, my daughter would always fall asleep when we were traveling in the car. So one time when we got to where we were going, I went to wake her up and started to say come on, pumpkin, then my mind changed it to sweetie, and so it came out come on, Petey. She looked at me and said Petey? I tried to explain and we laughed about it. So for the rest of that vacation when she would fall asleep in the car and snore like a lumberjack, she was known as Petey the Lumberjack.